I have not done a book haul in a very long time because I like fake put myself on a book buying ban. I was like, I'm gonna be responsible. I'm not gonna buy unnecessary books. Um, and yeah, I'm just learning to accept that buying books and reading books are two separate hobbies. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Shelby and the Book Club. I am Shelby Monet, and as you know, today we're doing a book haul. I have like 12 books here. Some of these I purchased, others of them were sent to me by publishing companies, which I am always super, super grateful for. One of them is a cover snot book. So there's a good variety here. Everything will be linked down below in the underneath a bar. I call it the underneath a bar because it is underneath the video. Okay, you're getting it, got it, good. And yeah, if you would like to support this channel, support the book club, I highly suggest you use my links. They are affiliate links, or use my codes. So my glasses are from Zlul. They are linked down below. You can use the code Shelby Monet if you are doing some glasses shopping. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into it for all this stuff. So the first thing that I want to show y'all, even though I don't really use bookmarks, are some bookmarks. So first, you guys know that I have a podcast, or maybe you didn't know, called the League of Extraordinary Readers, that I co-host with one of my very best friends, Jess. Jess has a book club called Literature Noir, which I know a lot of you guys are a part of, and she has the cutest bookmarks for sale. So I will link these down below. Go support my friend, get some bookmarks. These are super, super cute. I just have a collection of bookmarks that I don't use. Now, when I got some of these books, I went to the grand opening of Gladys Books and Wine in Brooklyn. It is a Black-owned, queer-owned bookstore. The vibes were immaculate. The selection of books they have, chef's kiss. And they have the cutest bookmarks. These are only 3 of them. I felt bad. They were free, but I didn't want to swipe them all. But these were the 3 that I got. They're super freaking cute. I will definitely be going back to that bookstore and getting some more bookmarks. So check them out. If you're in Brooklyn, or if you're planning a trip to the city, you should definitely go there. Okay, these are in no particular order. I'm just talking as I go. So I got a copy of Hamnet. The reason that I got this is because I saw the preview for the movie. Now, adaptations have been doing me dirty lately. I did not like Washington Black. The next one that's coming out that I'm looking forward to is Man in the Basement by Walter Mosley. I'm thinking that one is going to be good because Walter Mosley is working on the set of that one, and he works in film, so I think that one will be okay. But this just sounded really, really good. So it says, England, 1580, the Black Death creeps across the land, an ominous threat infecting the healthy, the sick, the old, and the young alike. The end of days is near, but life goes on. A young Latin tutor, penniless and bullied by a violent father, falls in love with an extraordinary, eccentric young woman. Agnes is a wild creature who walks her family's land with a falcon on her glove and is known throughout the countryside for her unusual gifts as a healer, understanding plants and potions better than she does people. Once she settles with her husband on Henley Street in Stratford upon Avon, she becomes a fiercely protective mother and a steadfast force in the life of her young husband, whose career on the London stage is just taking off when his beloved young son succumbs to sudden fever. I did also already have the audiobook for this, so I will be immersive reading this. Next, The Conjuring of America. A lot of you guys have sent this to me because y'all know that I am the local witch in my friend group and my family. Woo extraordinary here. And this is talking about the history of conjuring, the history of magic in America, how it started on plantations with women, Black women, enslaved women, mixing religion with their spiritual practices from back home, to come up with what we know as hoodoo, voodoo, and so on and so forth. So I'm actually very much looking forward to reading this. I'm very excited to read that. Next, Forever sent me a copy of Cheryl Lister's new book. This is A Promise of Forever. I know that this is the third book in the Firefly Lake, series. So I want to grab the other two as well. They are called A Table for Two and A Perfect Pairing. This one tells the story of a couple that are going through some things, and they are becoming two ships passing in the night, but the husband wants to make an effort to let his wife know that he does still love her, that he doesn't like seeing her in pain, and that he is still devoted to their marriage. So this sounds like a good little cozy read, something to read in between a bunch of the heavier things that I have on my list. I just want to make sure that I don't need to read the other two first, but I'll probably do that anyway. Next, we have Cultish. I don't know if y'all know, but cults are my jam. And what I mean by that is I've always been fascinated by cults. I've always wanted to know the psychology behind, like, well, how did people get to a point where they wanted to join a cult? Because I feel like it's usually something normal, like, oh, we want to live out and like plant on the land or live off the land and homeschool our kids and, you know, get away from societal standards. And then all of a sudden somebody is the second coming to Jesus. And I'm like, why is that not weird? Why? Or, you know, or somebody is killing cats, or they is hanging dogs from trees by their paw. Like, it goes left fairly quickly. And I don't understand why that isn't more alarming. I don't know, but a friend of mine, Sarah of Annotate with Sarah, she recently read this and said that it was really good. She's also fascinated by cults. So I was supposed to read this last week, didn't get to it. I might throw it in the rotation for this week, but I'll definitely read it before the end of the month. Okay, I got a copy of Waiting to Exhale. I read this last year or the year before with some of my friends. We all pretty much hated it because it has not aged well. I think this is a depiction of friendship in the 90s and how women treated each other like in the 80s and 90s, and I just wasn't vibing with it. But I picked The Wilderness for the book club for October, which is a story about friendship, and I think that may give us what we were looking for versus this, but I do want to do a side quest of this. So we'll be reading this like the end of September going into October before we start The Wilderness. So I got a copy to have. Plus I really like that cover. The artist that did all of the new editions of Terry McMillan is a Black woman. Very, very pretty. Next up, Braiding Sweetgrass. This is by an Indigenous author that is, I'll just read the synopsis to you. As a botanist, Robin Waugh Kimmerer has been trained to ask questions of nature with the tools of science. As a member of the citizen of the Potawatomi Nation, she embraces the notion that plants and animals are our oldest teachers. In Braiding Sweetgrass, Kimmerer brings these lenses of knowledge together to show that the awakening of a wider ecological consciousness requires the acknowledgement and celebration of our reciprocal relationship with the rest of the living world. For only when we can hear the languages of other beings are we capable of understanding the generosity of the earth and learning to give our own gifts in return. I haven't heard like one negative thing about this book. So I had to have a copy of it. This is something that I think I probably need to read and listen to. So I'll be getting the audiobook so that I can immersive read it. Next, I have A Devil Went Down to Georgia. This is a true crime nonfiction. So this one tells the story of Lita McClinton Sullivan. So it says, on a cold January morning in 1987, a flower delivery man rang Lita McClinton Sullivan's doorbell. Within the hour, doctors pronounced her dead. Lita's murder sent shockwaves through affluent Buckhead, Georgia. The Atlanta neighborhood, with its stately mansions and top-tier schools, was simply not the kind of place where women were gunned down in broad daylight. Lita was an intelligent and stunning black woman from a respected Atlanta family. Her marriage to Jim Sullivan, a new money millionaire from working class Boston, was a newsworthy occurrence in 1970s Georgia. It wasn't long before Jim's roving eye and controlling nature spun Lita into a cycle of gaslighting she found impossible to escape. When he bought a mansion in Palm Beach, Florida, without telling her, the facade of their life together began to crumble. Finally, after a decade of marriage, she loaded her belongings in a U-Haul and never looked back. Very, very curious about this. I don't know. It's another thing. I love true crime. I'm usually listening to a true crime podcast or something. Like, that's my jam. Next up, we have Misbehaving at the Crossroads. This is by Cautionary Jeffers. She wrote the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. This will actually be my first read by her. I have not read the love song of W.E.B. Du Bois yet. I want to. I am not happy about the page count of it. And there are a few people that have said that the love songs of W.E.B. Du Bois is trauma porn. And to that I say, you have no critical thinking skills. So, this one says, Cautionary Jeffers is at a crossroads. Traditional African Black American cultures present the crossroads as a place of simultaneous difficulty and potential. In contemporary times, Kimberly Crenshaw coined the phrase intersectionality to explain the unique position of Black women in America. In many ways, they are at a third crossroads, attempting to fit into notions of femininity and respectability, primarily assigned to white women, while improvising strategies to combat oppression. In Misbehaving at the Crossroads, Jeffers explores the emotional and historical tensions in Black women's public lives and her own private life. She charts voyages from Black girlhood to womanhood and the currents buffering these journeys, including the obstacles of racially gendered oppression, the challenges of documenting Black women's ancestry, the adultification of Black girls, the irony of Black women, respectability politics, the origins of womanism, Black feminism, and resistance to white supremacy and patriarchy. As Jeffers shows with empathy and wisdom, naming difficult historical truths represent both blues and transcendence, a crossroads that speaks. This one probably gonna scalp me. It's probably gonna get me together, and I'm very, very, very excited about that. This next one, Amitty. I spoke about my podcast earlier in this video, the League of Extraordinary Readers. We actually interviewed Nathan Harris a few weeks ago, so if I were you, I would check that video out. It was a great, great interview. This is his latest book. It's his second book, Amitty. It is phenomenal. I've read it already. I would like to say thank you to Little Brown for sending me a finished copy. This was a phenomenal book. It tells the story of Coleman and his sister June that are both on these journeys to Mexico in the 1850s. Technically they are free, but they are still the responsibility of the family that has owned them most of their lives. And not only are they on this journey to Mexico, but they also are on this journey to finding themselves, right? They go through all these things on this journey that make them into the woman and man that they ultimately become by the time we get to the end of the book. This also talks about Mexico and the things that Mexico went through, how white people wanted to migrate to Mexico because they thought they would be able to still live their lives with their slaves the way that they were accustomed to after the South lost the war. It's very interesting. There's a lot of conversation in here. I will say, For my girls that are Beverly Jenkins fans, there is a character in here named Isaac that stepped smooth out of a Beverly Jenkins romance novel. I promise he did. And this isn't romance, and it's not written in that way, but he was just so good. And if you are, I think, wanting to venture into historical fiction that maybe is a step above, or a step or two above Beverly Jenkins, I think this is a good place to start with that. So Amitty is very, very good. I highly suggest you read Amitty, especially, again, like I said, if you are a fan of historical fiction, but Beverly Jenkins, I'm going to think about Isaac forever. So next, I have a collection of short stories. This is Putting Myself Together. It is by Jamaica Kincaid with an introduction by Henry Louis Gates Jr. This is a beautiful cover. It's very haunting. It's creepy in a sense. But this is a collection of Jamaica Kincaid's nonfiction writing, including early pieces from publications such as The New Yorker, The Village Voice, and Miss proves what her admirers have always known from the start. She has been a consummate stylist, and she has always been herself. From Jamaica Kincaid's New York, which narrates her move to the city from Antigua at the age of 16 and a half, to the classic biography of a dress, her cultural criticism, and her original thinking about the meaning of the garden, Kincaid writes about the world as she finds it, imparting her own quizzical, rapier, sharp response to whatever crosses her path. Putting Myself Together is a brilliant, trenchant, hilarious self-portrait of the artist, and a testament to how this self-created mind and spirit, endowed with wit, humor, and fearlessness, has become one of our greatest, most original writers. This will probably be my first Jamaica Kincaid. I haven't read anything else by her. I don't really have any of her other works. Justice Book Club recently read Annie John, and that kind of piqued my interest, but don't have it. Next, Careless People. I've heard great things about this book. I've heard that it's messy. It's supposed to be so it says a captivating story of one woman's life and career at the heart of one of the most influential companies on the planet. Careless People gives you a front row seat to Facebook, the decisions that have shaped the world events in recent decades, and the people who made them. So I've heard great things about this book. And yeah, this might be, I plan to read it this month. I will say that. And then last but certainly not least, you guys know that I am a affiliate with Cover Snob. Cover Snob is a Black woman-owned romance subscription service where you will receive a beautiful book that is by a BIPOC author, and it is romance. It's going to be a romance novel that spans the spectrum of romance for all genders, all types. It's such a good subscription service. So what you get is you always get a bookmark. It's going into my collection, and this one comes with the year anniversary bookmark as well, which I absolutely love. I'm putting these with my collection of bookmarks. And we have a sticker. This one says "Nothing Like the First Kiss." That is super cute. And we also get a signature card, which these I always stick in my books so I don't get them lost. This is Cover Snob's first like original cover collaboration. This is a hardcover, and it says, "Falling in love with someone who wants everything I do in the art world isn't something I thought would ever happen." This is so pretty. Let me take the plastic off so I can show you guys the sprayed edges. I mean, honestly, every month, like, it just gets better and better. If you have not subscribed, I highly suggest you should, especially if you are a romance fan and you are looking for more black and brown romance authors. Like, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. They do such a good job every month. Shipping is great. Packaging, always great. I wasn't expecting that. Oh my goodness. That is beautiful. Dang, where am I gonna put the signature card? Oh, I can put it up here. Okay, I was gonna say, where am I gonna put the... I'm gonna have to get a copy of this in audio or on ebook, because I don't wanna mess this up. But you can use my code Shelby Monet so that you can sign up. Also, I've stopped my weekly vlogs as of right now, but usually I show these, like, me unboxing them in my vlog. So once those start up again, you should totally look forward to that, so that you don't miss anything. But yeah, so cute. This is just so beautiful. So yeah, that is my book haul. I hope you enjoyed it. I know y'all tired of me giving y'all things to read, but I'm just trying to expand your mind, friend. I'm trying to expand your reading palette. I want you to be a better reader in all ways. So without further ado, if no one told you today, I love you, you are kind, you are smart, you are important, if to no one else, to me. Make sure you let me know, have you read any of these? Will you be doing the Waiting to Exhale buddy read with us? Let me know that. And yeah, love you, bye.